Hello, welcome to Talk to Mentor Season 2, where we teach you the ins and outs of being an author on Webnovel. Today's topic will be approaches to climax, so stay tuned and take everything in. Most stories have a 3-act structure, the beginning, the middle and the end. For web novels, think of it as a more concentrated 3-act structure, where there are multiple 3-act structure in the entire story. The better written and the more popular stories always tend to be more complex and have more elements included within. They have the beginning, the rising action, the climax, the falling action, and the end. Think of it this way, you're writing to build towards a climax. After the climax, you want to pat your readers on the back before sending them off. In this case, let's talk about a simple slap to the face. At the start, the antagonist antagonizes the main character. This is the beginning of the conflict. The protagonist clenches his fists, winds up his hands, and the crowd watch on as they mock the protagonist for being weak. This is the rising action or the wind-up. The protagonist releases his slap and a loud sound reverberates through the hall. This is the climax, when skin meets skin and you feel great. The crowd watches in amazement as the antagonist stumbles on the ground and points towards the protagonist. This is the falling action, where you start to unwind. The tension has been resolved and the crowd reaction let the reader feel as if a weight is lifted off their shoulders. The antagonist is carried away, and this ends the entire conflict. Of course, for online literary works, if the entire story is based off of climaxes, such a sweet spot rhythm is far from enough for readers' psychological needs. Think about it this way. If you play a video game that has no challenge at all, you'll get bored of it. Imagine playing a game with no storyline and your character is always stuck at the same level fighting slimes. Therefore, writers need to learn to find phase conflicts, contradictory points, on the path of the protagonist's growth, or forcibly create new conflicts, creating refreshing points, and reach the climax in the phase plot. So, how do we set the climax? The climax in a novel is often the most exciting part for an author to write and for a reader to read. The easiest way to maximize the effect on the reader is to first lower the expectation of the reader. For example, make the reader think that the scene would end with the main character getting to wield the element of fire. When readers find out that the main character gained a mastery over an additional wind and water, it will blow their expectations out of the water. The unexpected surprise is no doubt more intense and a much more satisfying outcome. However, do not overuse it. Do not treat your readers like a fool and use it on all climax points in your novel, big or small. A well-timed use of this method would yield a much better effect. Cause another technique you can employ is to build upon the existing climax. Much like climbing over a mountain, overcoming bigger and bigger obstacles would be the way to go. For example, your main character's nemesis killed someone close to them and beats them in a battle. As revenge, your main character starts to train hard and become stronger in order to beat his nemesis. You can also add a review where the nemesis was merely following the orders of the true boss. The shock value and wow factor would not only come as a surprise to your readers, but also add to the excitement of what is yet to come. This also prolongs the climax of the novel and rewards readers with a larger payoff as the story progresses. I hope this lesson gives you a clearer understanding towards climaxes, and thus concludes this episode. I'll see you soon. This is the last episode in this series. Check out the previous seasons in the description below. Hit that subscribe button for more content, and I'll see you on Webnovel.